HaKadosh Baruch Hu collects Yidden that love him, that fear him. And here you have all of Am Yisrael in the desert, and he says, I want to count you. Again and again. Multiple times we're commanded in the Torah. But what's the lesson? We've already learned that he loves us and therefore he counts us. What's really the lesson? What's the secret here? You see, Rabotai Karim, if you notice, during this census, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mentions the names. And he first starts with the commandment to Moshe Rabbeinu, Seu et rosh kol edat bnei Yisrael, lemishpechotam lebet avotam. Seu et rosh, which means take a census, also could mean, Chazal says, remove the heads. What does it mean, remove the heads? If the leaders of each tribe, or any one of the tribes, are like Avigdor Lieberman, are like Naftali Bennett, are like the ones that misguide the religious community like Manis Friedman, remove their heads. Remove them. Why? Because they're going to lead the entire nation off a cliff. But at the same time, I want you to count. What do we have? Who stayed strong? Who abandoned heresy? Who did tshuva for the mistakes they made? Who realized that being in a cash advance business or the like, lending money to Jews or Gentiles with high interest is forbidden according to all opinions in the Torah, and therefore abandoned it, even though that meant that their income is going to go down 90%. Who made the sacrifice for me and really became part of the tribes? Who? Who stopped hating people for no reason? Who? Well, first look at the leaders. If the leaders are hateful, if the leaders are scoundrels, if the leaders are scammers, if the leaders are money hungry, if the leaders are ignoramuses that don't know anything about the Holy Torah, if the leaders betrayed the Torah and disrespect the sages, then you don't even need to count, because I could already tell you what the tribe is going to look like. So start with the leader. Seu et rosh kol edat bnei Yisrael. Remove the heads. Count them separately, because that's going to tell us what the rest of the count's going to look like. But after that, we go into the names. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us of the names of these leaders, like Shlumiel ben Tzuri Shaddai and Nachshon ben Aminadav. For the Shimon tribe, we have Shlumiel ben Tzuri Shaddai, who starts off the book of Numbers, the Sefer BaMidbar, as a powerful leader that the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin says was the grandson of Yaakov Avinu, who saw Yaakov Avinu and came down to Egypt as one of the 70 neshamot that Yaakov brought to Egypt, meaning he was hundreds of years old. But later on in the same book, same Sefer BaMidbar, in Parashat Balak, Shlumiel ben Tzuri Shaddai abandons ship, falls for the Yetzer Hara's trap, goes and marries a Goya. And the Gemara in Masechet Eruvin says in page 19, a Jew that is intimate with a non-Jew goes to Gehenom and does not come out, unless of course they do tshuva before they die. But Shlumiel ben Tzuri Shaddai did this in the worst possible way. Not only did he go and marry the Goya, he publicized it. He made YouTube videos letting people know how they're meant for each other and they love each other. And he's a prince and she's a princess. And if, it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and all types of stupid things that people say to justify their sins against God, making things much worse. And therefore the Torah changes the name of Shlumiel ben Tzuri Shaddai to Zimri. As the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin says, Zimri because he went after what immorality says. He went after wasting seed. He went after doing things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu forbid. Therefore, his name started off as good, but ended up terrible. Nachshon ben Aminadav had good yichus, came from the tribe of Yehuda. But until you know the behind-the-scenes story of what happened at Yam Suf, you don't really think there's anything special about Nachshon. But then you realize that Nachshon sacrificed everything to show his faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Went into the water of Yam Suf before anyone could even imagine that Yam Suf would ever split. Needless to say, split into 12. 12 parts in Yam Suf. Each tribe had a tunnel of its own. So we see that the leaders, some all started good, but some did not end good. In fact, every single time we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished Am Yisrael, it always tells us that he punished the leaders, the Rashim, the heads, first. The same will happen in our times. As Mashiach is coming closer and closer, you will see all of the heads show their true colors. All of the so-called leaders of the religious and irreligious communities, of the Zionist and anti-Zionist, of the American and the Israeli and the European and the Middle Eastern and the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi and the atheist and the self-hating, all of the leaders, all of the different leaders that are connected to Am Yisrael, they're all going to come out and you're going to see everybody's true colors. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to show you who's the ones that are going to remain ahead and even get further, and the ones that are going to be chopped off. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless.